Good morning and welcome to Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy. I am flying solo today. Shannon is on a tour of CARD offices. She's gone on the road with her son Jem, and they're traveling around the country visiting CARD offices, so we miss her today and wish her a good time on that trip. We have a lot of stories in the news, and a lot of them are very technical, so you'll have to bear with me as I get the correct language on some of them. But the first one is that a new eye test could help identify people with autism spectrum disorders. This study came out in the European Journal of Neuroscience, and it said it heralded a new tool that helps physicians identify a subgroup of people with autism spectrum disorders. The test, which consists of measuring rapid eye movements, may indicate deficits in an area of the brain that plays an important role in emotional and social development. The director, co-author of the study, John Fox, who's PhD at the University of Rochester Medical Center, says these findings build upon a growing field of research that show that eye movement could serve as a window into a part of the brain that plays a role in a number of neurological and development disorders, such as autism. The way this works is that eye movements and the mechanism by which the brain controls and processes what we choose to look at have been a major focus of neuroscience researchers for decades. The rapid eye movements we make when we shift our attention from one object to another, and I don't know if I have this term right, known as saccades, are essential to navigating, understanding, and interacting with the world around us. In healthy individuals, those saccades are rapid, precise, and accurate, redirecting the line of sight from one point to another. However, in those individuals with ASD, they were not able to track the objects to the same degree that those healthy individuals were able to track them. So this is assessing the ability of the people to track these eye movements is going to be potentially an important tool that could identify a whole new group of those with ASD at an earlier stage of development. Second story, that a Drexel study finds a link between autism and antidepressant use in pregnant women. Contrary to recent studies suggesting otherwise, pregnant women who take antidepressants may be at a slightly higher risk of giving birth to a child who develops autism spectrum disorder, according to a team of researchers at Drexel University. The latest study, published in the BMJ, the British Medical Journal, I assume, examined a cohort of children born in Stockholm, Sweden between 2001 and 2011. Drexel researchers, collaborating with the University of Bristol, found that children born to mothers who had taken antidepressants at any point in their pregnancy were 45% more likely to receive an ASD diagnosis. Just 2% of those cases, however, could have been prevented had the women not taken antidepressant medication. It said overall the increase in risk was quite small. Of children exposed to antidepressants during pregnancy, 4.1% had an autism diagnosis. In comparison, children of mothers with a history of psychiatric disorder but who did not use antidepressants during pregnancy had a 2.9 prevalence of the autism diagnosis. So in actuality, it was quite small, and they're urging to use caution here. Despite the small correlation found in the study, researchers advise women and clinicians not to base their decisions about antidepressant use on the results of any one study. Suspending use of medication could pose serious risks during pregnancy, both to mother and the fetus, and the mental health benefits of such drugs should be taken into consideration. So they're urging caution there before jumping to any conclusions. There's also been another study that's discovered a link between autism spectrum disorder and pain sensitivity. It's been confirmed in a new research study by University of Texas neuroscientists. The study focused on a very specific aspect of sensory processing, pain perception, with the goal of determining what happens in the brains of high-functioning adults with ASD when they anticipate and feel pain sensations. The researchers used a stimulation device to deliver mild electrical shocks to the participants, who decided how much pain they were willing to tolerate. The shocks were delivered while the subjects were in an MRI scanner so that the researchers could measure brain activity and physiological responses when participants anticipated pain and when they experienced it. They found there were 3 major findings from the study. It confirmed that people with ASD are hypersensitive to pain, a finding that has been documented in previous studies. In a new finding, the study showed that when people with ASD anticipate painful stimulus, their brains generate greater neural responses to ACC compared to those without ASD. And in addition, the research indicated that more brain activity the participants showed during pain anticipation, the less they score on empathy quotient questionnaire. The author's study said people with autism are often poor at empathy, which is the ability to understand what another person may be feeling. This result indicates that pain anticipation is related to social impairments faced by those with autism. So those were highly technical. Hopefully I did an okay job of explaining them, but all new and exciting information. It seems like autism is going to be everywhere on the airwaves this year. We've got an ABC show called The Good Doctor that's coming on that's been getting a lot of attention. There's also a show called Atypical, which is Netflix's new comedy series about autism. The 8-episode comedic series follows Sam Gardner, a high school senior on the autism spectrum, and his family as he navigates dating, school, and being a teenager. The show stars Jennifer Jason Leigh and Michael Rapaport as Sam's parents, and it also, the guy who stars in it, the young gentleman who stars in it, Kara Gilchrist, is not on the spectrum. However, there's a friend of his in the show that is on the spectrum. The friend named Christopher, Anthony Jacques, is on the autism spectrum, the actual actor who plays his friend. Let's take a look at the trailer for the show Atypical.
How was your session with your therapist today?
She thinks that I should put myself out there and find someone to have sex with. She didn't say the sex part, I added that. I'm a weirdo, that's what everyone says. Sometimes I don't know what people mean when they say things.
Sam, people on the spectrum date, you know.
Girls don't really notice me at all, and I'm not great at picking up signals.
She's smiling right at you.
You need to turn that down like 70%.
Casey, why does my to-do list say remove stick from butt?
I don't know, but if it's on there, you gotta do it, right?
I can't find my work pants.
Sam's gonna start dating.
You and I weren't much older when we met. Maybe it's time for us to take a step back.
You want to know how to get the girls? I'm taking you to Poon City.
That's not a real place. Nope, not doing that.
There are strategies I could teach him.
I'm not a little kid anymore. I can do things.
Strategies for when you get your heart broken.
Sometimes I wish I was normal.
Dude, nobody's normal.
Your son has the same desire to be loved that we all do.
Paige?
Why shouldn't he pursue it?
My family is fragile.
Everything is Sam this and autism that. Maybe it's time for you to have your own life.
Whoever first said practice makes perfect was an idiot. Humans can't be perfect because we're not machines. The best thing that you can say about practice is that it makes better. At some point, I really, really hope that I get to see boobs.
So as we can see, this is going to really concentrate a lot on how the young man, Sam Gardner, navigates dating, school, and being a teenager from the autism perspective. The show's creator and executive producer said, "We've seen the search for love from a neurotypical perspective, but not from a point of view like Sam's. She liked the idea of telling a familiar story, the search for those things from a different perspective, from a voice that's not often heard." She says that a lot of research has gone into creating the show. During the initial writing stage, she read books, she read blogs, talked to people on the spectrum. She said that she has someone close to hers on the spectrum, so she had a lot of personal experience to draw from. They also have used the Miracle Project as a consultant on the show, and they involved a lot of people with the autism community. So we're going to be very excited to see that show when it hits the airwaves. We took part in a very fun resource fair. The We Rock the Spectrum resource fair, Act Today did, and Let's Talk Autism. It was on July 16th. Let's take a look at what happened that day.
Crazy as life goes, we'll write a story we tell to a very own. So let's live, lost in the moment, taking it all in as we go. You know I'm counting on you.
So we had a great day that day, and as you saw, Dina Kimmel, who is the creator of We Rock the Spectrum, and also the creator of the first We Rock the Spectrum resource fair, was featured there. I attended with my son Wyatt, and we had a wonderful time. Dina tells us this is just the first of what she hopes will be many We Rock the Spectrum resource fairs, and we encourage all of you to try out We Rock the Spectrum gyms, because they do welcome everybody. Everybody is welcome. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back, and we're going to be coming back with some guests. Today we have the founder of Harkla. It's a company dedicated to raising happy and healthy children through their products, which are sensory integration products. We also have Leonard Zahn. He is the creator of Autism Eats, which is an innovative new program that allows families to go and enjoy a meal out, which is something that so many of our families can't do, and he's figured out a way to make that happen. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more.
Potty training is different for every child. A child could come in with absolutely, no control over their bladder, and as long as that's not a medical issue, then we can certainly approach it behaviorally and give them the tools they need to be successful, just like any other skill that we would teach.
Well, we think he's learning to pee on the potty. No big successes yet, and lots of accidents. Here is the laundry from today.
For some of our kids takes, just a couple days. And then for other kids, it can take months and months and months. And then when you're looking at complete independence, it can take years.
Hey, you have to go pee-pee?
There's a lot of different ways to tell if a child is ready. We look for a couple different things. Probably the most important is parents saying, I need this to happen, I'm ready. Second is, a child showing interest in the bathroom, and some of it is simply age. It's time to go ahead and work on this.
What are you doing? Pooping. You're pooping?
You first start with teaching the child what they need to do on the toilet. The basic thing we want is for them to drink as much liquid as possible. It's inevitable that if you drink a bunch of liquid, you're gonna pee.
Help! No, I can't help you pee. Help. I can hold your hand, but I can't help you pee.
Ultimately, what we want is that, the child, as soon as they're put on the toilet, they urinate. So that's step one. Step two is usually working through the amount of time that they're off of the toilet and making sure that they're not having accidents during the time that they're off. So this is kind of the bladder control stage of things.
So the purpose of the potty log is just to see how long it takes them as soon as they sit on the potty for them to actually urinate, and the amount of time that he's able to hold his urine. And with the log, we're able to visually see how long it takes them each time, if they have accidents or not. He's on a half-hour potty schedule, so if he doesn't go when we take him, then we have to take him in 10 more minutes. So every 10-minute intervals until he does go, and then we reset the clock, and it's 30 minutes again.
Okay, buddy. Okay, last chance to go pee-pees. Do we reset it for 10?
Oh, what does that mean? What does that mean, Jack? It's potty time. We can come play after. Hurry.
What we hope happens in this time is that the kids will learn how to initiate going to the bathroom on their own. This is oftentimes the hardest part of potty training, is because they get so used to somebody telling them when they need to go that they're not really recognizing the signs just in their own body of when they need to go.
Oh, he wet himself.
Uh-oh. Big wet?
Was it a lot? We can reset to half an hour now.
The biggest thing for parents is not to give up. The other big tip, and I think pitfall that a lot of parents fall into, is putting their children back into pull-ups or diapers, especially if they're starting to have accidents. And this is probably the worst thing that you can do. They need to recognize that feeling of fullness in their bladder and take themselves to the bathroom, or tell an adult that they need to go to the bathroom.
What do you have to do? You have to put your pee-pee in the potty. Okay, give it a shot. See if you can put it in there. There you go. You're doing it. Yay, Jack. Hey, pray for your pee-pee.
Big pee-pee.
Yay! Woo! Yay! Good job. What a big boy. High five, high five, high five, high five, high five, high five, high five.
Are those your eyes? Is that your smile? I've been looking at you forever, yet I never saw you before. Are these your hands?
As a celebrity, whatever that means, you want to do what you can to give back. The way I've always looked at it, if I'm available, I'm going to be there. And when you get there and you see what folks are doing and the lives that they're touching, how can you not want to continue to be a part of it?
And for the first time, I am looking in your eyes.
What can we all do to make a difference? Not only with trying to find a cure, but to help the children and the families that may not have the resources for these kids.
When you're looking back at me, now I understand what...
None of us are doing enough, but I think that we're doing as much as we possibly can. Because we all live in society, and the more we can all do to help society, the more it helps all of us. Yeah.
And for the first time, I am looking in your eyes. And for the first time, I'm seeing who you are. I can't believe how much I see when you're looking back at me. Now I understand what love is. Love is. For the first time.
What is autism? What is autism?
What is autism?
What is autism?
What is autism?
What is autism?
I've been asking myself that for a very, very long time.
Let me think
about that one?
Trying to, just,
Jeez. Let me think. Oh man, that's a rough one. Yes.
Autism,
Autism is a neurological disorder that affects many of our kids in different ways.
It's a learning disability that affects the cognitive functions of the brain.
A lot of people have the misconception that it's a disability, and it's really not.
I look at it as like a special gift.
When one person thinks differently from another.
It's an opportunity for everyone to learn to understand someone that's a little different than them.
Autism is the ability to educate.
They're given so much talent in different areas.
To me, autism means a chance to be with and be around people you really care about. Autism is beautiful.
It's a way of seeing the world differently.
It's always unique, totally intelligent, and sometimes mysterious.
Happiness that comes out of my son's hard work.
It's a movement.
Unpredictable.
That's right.
Awesome. Love.
The field I want to work in.
Laughter, fun, joy. Autism is beautiful to me.
I want you to remember these 3 words. There is hope.
Hi, I'm Shannon Penrod, and we're at the ABCs and XYZs of Special Needs Conference. And this year, for the first time, they've got something really remarkable. It's the Entrepreneurial Boutique. These are all items that have been made and are being sold by individuals who have special needs. So we're going to do a little shopping and talk to some of these fabulous entrepreneurs. Come on.
My name is Molly Rarick, and I'm founder of Breed's Gift. We're a nonprofit that serves teens and adults with special needs, like Chase here. We were founded in 2013 and serve people in the Conejo Valley, Santa Barbara, and LA.
Our main objective is to give our participants the skills they need to gain a more independent life.
My name is Shelley Cox, and Lisa Zalagi and I are founders of Creative Steps and Create Micro Business Enterprises. And the items that we're selling here today are all made by the clients who have passions about what they want to make, and then they get the profits from what they make after we've paid all of the other expenses.
We are here today because my goal is to be independent, and also I would like to share all my artwork, and I would like to sell.
Thinking about at his young age being a businessman, it's amazing. I cannot be more proud.
A lot of adults don't really believe kids. They'll think, kids are kids, what are they talking about? But when a child stands up for what they believe in, it's so strong and powerful. I first got involved with autism advocacy 4 years ago when my friend was diagnosed. When I found out about my friend's diagnosis, I didn't really understand what it meant. But it didn't matter to me or change our friendship. I didn't look at her any differently. We still had so much fun together. Now I know that she experiences life a little differently than me, and that's okay. Knowing what she goes through has helped me to understand and be more caring towards other people in similar situations. I got involved with ACT Today because I wanted to do whatever I could to help. They provide options like behavioral therapy, medical care, social skills programs, assistance to military families, and much more. Being there for my friend was my #1 priority. I've been volunteering and spreading the word about the cause via my social media platform because raising awareness is a crucial first step. There needs to be more kids and teens involved to make sure that our voices are heard just as loudly as the adults. You may be small like me, but your acts of kindness are not.
And we are back with Let's Talk Autism. I'm without my cohort, Shannon Penrod, today, who is on the road visiting card locations around the country. We miss Shannon very much. And as promised, we have a guest here today. Leonard Sohn and his wife Delphine founded Autism Eats, a national organization that provides autism-friendly, non-judgmental environments for family dining, socializing, and connecting with others who have similar challenges. Hello, Leonard. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Nancy. Thank you.
Welcome to the show. Leonard, tell us a little bit about what Autism Eats is. I just gave a brief intro, but tell us in your own words what it is.
Sure. Autism Eats is really it's a non-judgmental autism environment where we bring autism families together and their caregivers, and their friends, and their extended families. And we rent out sections of restaurants and create this environment where autism families and the individuals with autism can feel very comfortable, can feel relaxed. We tell people that all behaviors are welcome, and it's an opportunity to enjoy a night out or brunch out with dinner, some light entertainment for the kids and the siblings, and a way to network and to be out there without having to be concerned about impacting on other diners' meals or facing possibly some stares and from other diners in the restaurant.
Okay. Now, I know this was formed because of your own personal history with autism and being a special needs dad. So we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, I want to hear about your journey with autism and your family's journey. So we'll be back in just a few seconds.
Great. Thank you.
Hello, fellow activists. Let's talk about step 6, live in gratitude and give back. Have you ever noticed that it's impossible to feel sorry for yourself when you focus on your blessings? I have an exercise for you. Take out 5 pennies. I want each penny to represent something you're thankful for today. Now, I bet not one of those pennies represented something material, but that every one of them represented someone you love or a moment you shared with that someone.
Go through life parched and empty, standing knee deep in a river and dying of thirst.
There's a song by Kathy Mattea called Standing Knee Deep in a River and Dying of Thirst. Sometimes we need to look at the river of blessings flowing underneath us, and then we see we're not so thirsty after all. Once you realize how fortunate you are, you can freely give back to others, and there's nothing that will make you feel more fortunate than giving to those less fortunate than you. So start your day with an attitude of gratitude, and until next time, keep the faith. And we are back with our guest, Leonard Zahn. Leonard and his wife, Delphine, founded Autism Eats. It's a national organization that provides autism families with non-judgmental dining experiences. Welcome back to the show, Leonard.
Thank you.
Leonard, let's go back and talk about your personal history. You are an autism dad, so tell us about that.
Sure. I'm the dad of 2 exceptional children. I have a daughter that's 14, and I have a son who just turned 12 who has autism. And autism was really on the list of things that we never expected to happen as a family. Aiden was diagnosed at 2 years old, which is pretty typical as these things go. And he is a baseline, a very happy, beautiful boy with lots of interests and lots of energy, but he also has some challenges as well. One of them is dining out. While the rest of the family really loves to go out to dinner and restaurants and be part of that community, some of the environments of restaurants that we would visit will really prove to be overwhelming to him, and would cause him to have meltdowns and run for the door or want to play his iPad or iPhone very loudly. And it became very difficult for us to interact with others in a way that we always expected that we would be doing.
So how did you come up with this idea of Autism Eats?
Well, after our upteenth unsuccessful visit to a restaurant, with leaving early and having our food packed to go, we said, let's give it one more try. And I remember a couple of weeks following when we had a big family get together at a popular pizza restaurant. And pizza is Aiden's favorite food. It's kind of one of his trigger foods. And this restaurant was taking an exceptionally long time to service our dinners and our pizza. And Aiden really could not understand why everybody else in the restaurant was eating and we were not. So, I kind of turned to my right to talk to a friend of mine, and I saw the color go out of my wife's face. And by the time I turned left, Aiden had jumped up and was running around the restaurant. And by the time I caught up with him, he had taken slices of pizza off of 3 different diners' tables. So that was kind of the final straw, and said, you know what, there's got to be a better way for this. And that was really the birth of trying to put together a model where everybody would be successful in a restaurant experience.
So you decided to put together this program. What was the first Autism Eats dinner that you put together?
Sure. So the first one we did was in a restaurant north of Boston, which is in the community where I live. And, again, we knew really what didn't work with this typical restaurant experience. And namely, the tops of that list, Nancy, were, the inability for a lot of kids or individuals with autism. They did not want to wait. They didn't want to wait to be seated. They didn't want to wait for a server or a menu. And in many cases, individuals could be overwhelmed by having to make choices on this menu when the waitress was standing there expecting to take their order and move on to the next table. And certainly nobody wanted to wait for the food to arrive. And, with bright lights, with loud ambient noise or background noise, these were all issues we took into consideration. So we found a restaurant that we felt had the right physical layout, where we could have our own private section of the restaurant, but still feel that we were out in a very, central part, so we could be safe, but also not feel that we're in the basement somewhere. And we had the lights adjusted down. We had the music adjusted down. We had a buffet that was set up, so there was no waiting for anything. And the families had paid in advance on the Autism Eats website, so you didn't have to order a meal or wait for a check or wait for food to be served. And we gave kids toys when they arrived, sensory-friendly, squishy toys, textured toys. We welcomed people. We sat some people at tables by themselves with their own family. Others, we set up community tables to give them a very natural way to meet others, to meet other families, and other siblings to meet other siblings. And then we just let the night move on in a very natural, organic kind of a way. And we had, we really didn't know, Nancy, how many people to expect. 30 people, 40 people, 20 people. And by the evening of the dinner, we had almost 120 people that were driving from as far away as really 2.5 hours each way to come join us on that night. And it was just a tremendous success.
Yeah, you did have a tremendous success. Why do you think so many parents responded to this? Why do you think this resonated with so many families?
I think families, including my own, we really just want to do some things that are typical, or take some things that we always thought would be easy but aren't, and have the ability to do that. So going out to dinner, going out and being in an environment where you don't have to apologize to anybody, you don't have to explain anything. You can just let your child behave in the way that they're most comfortable, act the way that they're most comfortable. And if that means that they're going to get up and jump, or if they're going to flop on the ground, or if they want to play their music loudly, they are welcome to do that there. So there's really this kind of collective sigh of relief that everybody can just relax and do what they're comfortable doing, and put the autism, on the shelf for a little while and not talk about it, because you're in an environment where everybody's experiencing it. And just have an enjoyable night out. Or if you'd like to talk about it and network with some other families and share stories about school or different treatments and care protocols, you have that ability also.
What did you find that families were more interested in sharing their stories, or were they more interested in just trying to have a, quote, normal night out?
You know what? I saw a real mix. I saw lots of dads talking about the upcoming baseball season. I saw siblings, and this was really, really wonderful, because as the father of a 14-year-old girl, and she was, I think, 11 at the time, it was great for her to be amongst her peers, to be amongst other siblings, and know that she was not the only one that has kind of a quirky brother, and that there are others out there that are really feeling some of the same ways that she is. So that was part of it also, to make sure that the siblings are comfortable. And I did see a lot of iPhones coming out and parents making play dates for their kids, which was fun to see, because as a lot of parents know, it can be difficult sometimes for the socialization part of it for their kids outside of school or outside of specific autism activities. So this was a great way for parents to set up those play dates for their kids.
Did you find a lot of fathers connecting? Because we oftentimes think of really parents, the moms are sort of in the forefront of a lot of organizations that get underway, and the quote warrior moms. You oftentimes don't see dads spearheading this kind of thing. Did you find a lot of the fathers had a lot of camaraderie when it came to this?
I did, and I was very happy to see a lot of dads coming out. We saw some dads come just with their child, and we saw a lot of dads come as part of a full, part of the full family. And yes, we saw dads having the typical conversations, not having to do with autism. And we saw some having autism conversations. A lot of those seemed to be around advocacy. But what I did have happen as the night was winding down, I had 2 or 3 different fathers come up to me and tell me that that they were so appreciative to be able to come out and do this, because in many instances they felt that the moms were kind of bearing the brunt of the home life and the home training and the care and interacting with the school. And this gave the dads an opportunity to get involved, to interact, to meet others in the community, and also for them as well to share some stories with dads that get it, and not necessarily dads at work or elsewhere that were had typical families and typical kids that they were bringing up.
Okay, well, tell us about your plans for Autism Eats. What are your plans for the future?
Well, the plans for Autism Eats are to continue growing the program. We've been doing this for just over 3 years now. We've had over 50 events everywhere from really Boston to Hawaii. And we have other communities that should be having their first dinners coming up in the fall. So the plan is really to continue the growth. We want to get more communities involved, and I will help you set up an Autism Eats club in your community. So we want more communities. We'd like to increase the frequency of the events. Right now they're approximately every 1 to 2 months, but we would like to increase that to closer to monthly and have them running simultaneously. And we're also looking for partnerships, corporate partnerships, donations, and some funding to help us sustain and grow the program, and also make sure that it will always be affordable for families to attend, regardless of what their financial situation is.
Tell us more about how people can learn more about the program and how they can get in touch with you.
All of our information is on the Autism Eats website, which is autismeats.org. And the Autism Eats is one word. On that website, which is soon to be redesigned, but we have a listing of all the upcoming events. We also have a Contact Us button. And if you hit that Contact Us button, you'll be able to fill out an email and send me your some information or some questions, and I'll get right back to you, and we can schedule a call, and I can answer all your questions live, and we can talk about planning events.
Tell us what you've gained personally from this experience of heading this organization up.
Sure. I mean, I'm one of those dads that had a very difficult time initially in kind of processing what it means to have a son with autism. Again, it's not something that we plan for. It just kind of happens while you're making other plans. So what Autism Eats has allowed me to do is take a very proactive approach to autism, to get out there in the community, to create awareness, to provide advocacy, to bring families, to bring community together, and to give people an opportunity for enjoyment and respite. And also it's an opportunity for me on a very personal level to have this special bonding with my son Aiden, and that he introduced me to this world and introduced me to so many wonderful, caring, good people that I otherwise never would have had a chance to meet.
Well, it's a terrific program. We wish you the best of luck with it and for the future growth. And once again, Leonard Zahn, thank you for joining us from Autism Eats.
Great. Thank you very much, Nancy.
Great to have had you.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be with another male figure who's in the forefront of autism company. We are going to be joined by Casey Ames, who is the founder of Harkla, which is for sensory integration toys and tools. So we'll be right back.
Being part of this community is really important to a mom with a son like Jackson, because it really does take a village, and you need so much support, you know, to help bring out all of the amazing qualities and skills and talents that our children have. So I'm just very grateful to everybody who was a part of this.
I think it helps with all sorts of that self-esteem, social skills. They seem to communicate a little bit with each other, and they had a lot of friends. The helpers were phenomenal, and I think the social skills for sure, because they, you know, they worked together and they did a couple of group things across the floor, and they sang songs together, and I yeah, for sure, I think it's a really huge deal. A great program.
What programs like this show is the person is in front of what we call today a disorder. I think what we're finding is that these sorts of brain challenges that make people unique can actually be gifts in ways we haven't discovered in the rest of society to bring them out. So when you see a program like this and you see the kids dancing, having fun, and making up jokes, making up the story. I was here when they did that. That was so amazing to watch, because they were all focused, they were all present, and they were all laughing, they were all getting into the creation of this story. And that to me sort of broke the barrier to say, no, first we're dealing with people, and then we're dealing with the challenges.
And we are back now with Let's Talk Autism. As I said, Shannon Penrod is on the road visiting CARD centers around the country, so I'm flying solo today without her. And now we are joined by Casey Ames. Hello, Casey, how are you?
Doing well, how are you?
I'm doing great. Casey is the founder of Harkla. Harkla is a company dedicated to helping families raise happy and healthy children with special needs by creating the highest quality products. Although Harkla is a young company, the focus is on quality products, customer satisfaction, and supporting resources, and they have quickly grown to a nationally known brand. Casey, tell us a little bit about the company.
Yeah, Harkla is a Seattle-based company. We are a small new company, but we've been focusing on creating the best products we possibly can for families with special needs. We've been around about 1.5 years now, starting with sensory swings, and then we've expanded into lighter weighted blankets, 5 and 7 pound, and lap pads, and have been working pretty diligently to launch heavier weighted blankets to bring our special blankets to a wider range of people with special needs.
Okay, now what type of families use these products?
We have a wide range. Families with neurotypical children do use our products because the weighted blankets help most people feel relaxed, but we like to focus on families with kids with special needs or school districts and occupational therapists, simply because we feel like we can make a bigger impact with those communities and try and serve a very specific purpose. So on top of the products, we also bring in experts, expert occupational therapists to help families with advice and content that we provide for free outside of the products. So we try and serve a very specific purpose with our products and company.
So you have experts that are advising you on the creation of these products?
Yeah, we work with a wide range of people to create the products, including school districts and teachers, and then occupational therapists as well.
Okay, tell us a little bit about the swings and what they are consisted of, how they look and how they operate.
Yeah, so the swings look like a teardrop, a hollowed out teardrop with a cushion on the inside that kids can climb into, and it gives them a place to escape, but it also is used for sensory integration therapy, because of the swinging motion can provide a sense of calm for the kids. But since it's a hollowed out teardrop and they can go inside of it, kids love to just climb into it and have their own private place to hang out inside of.
Okay, and then tell us a little bit about the blankets and what you manufacture now.
Yeah, so the blankets have quickly become our bestseller, as weighted blankets have become very popular over the last year, I would say. They've always been used a bit in the special needs community, but they're kind of getting mainstream notice now because of their benefits. But our blankets are made with a soft, minky fabric with dots on one side, which we added specifically for extra sensory input. And then we use a blend of cotton and plastic pellet beads to weigh them down. And so for the last year, we've been selling 5 and 7 pound blankets in a blue and green color. But with the Kickstarter we're launching, which ends tomorrow morning, we've secured enough funding to launch 10, 15 pound, 20 pound, and 25 pound blankets, as well as a purple and lavender color and a dark gray and light gray colored blanket.
So people are still able to participate in your Kickstarter campaign. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, if they were to either search Kickstarter for Harkla or go to Harkla, harkla.co/Kickstarter, they'd be taken to the page, and it ends early tomorrow morning. It was a 30-day campaign, and we raised $15,000 through pre-orders for our blankets. So we had we still have a special low price for the Kickstarter because it's a pre-order. Then what we'll be able to sell it once we're in stock. And then tomorrow and Friday, we'll start putting in, taking everybody's full order and manufacturing the blankets to get them out to people as soon as possible.
Congratulations on that, on getting the funding you've gotten so far. Tell us about the benefits of these products and what kind of feedback have you gotten from families?
Yeah, so the feedback for the blankets probably has been the most inspirational thing we've seen, just because sleep is what we call a high leverage point. If you can help fix a child's sleep, it just helps improve a lot of other behaviors and issues they have throughout the day, because sleep is just so important. So we get feedback that kids have gotten their first full night's sleep ever, especially children with autism, because in general, they produce less serotonin than their peers. And weighted blankets and the science behind weighted blankets, which is called deep pressure stimulation or deep touch pressure, there's a few names for it, has been shown to release serotonin in the body, which is a precursor for melatonin, which helps us sleep better. And serotonin is a chemical in the body that gives us a sense of calm. And weighted blankets also help reduce nervous system activity. And so all of these things combined have given these kids a way to feel a sense of calm, fall asleep quicker, and a lot of ways that I relate it to other people who haven't used a weighted blanket is if you're at the dentist and they put that lead vest on you. It's the same feeling you get, because a lot of people weirdly feel a sense of calm at the dentist, which can be a high anxiety situation for a lot of people when they have the weight of that vest on them.
Right. And you've gotten some positive feedback from some of your consumers on the products?
Yeah, we're one of the highest rated weighted blankets right now on Amazon, but also just feedback from schools we work with and occupational therapists. So Kara Kozinski, who writes for the OT, or the Pocket OT.
Yes, we've had Kara on the show many times.
Yeah, Kara's great. She's one of the experts we work with, and we're her recommended weighted blanket.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, so that was great to hear from her. And she's also one of the experts we have who writes advice on our site, in our blog, and we've done Facebook Live events with her to try and do Q&As for parents. So we go out of our way to work with Kara and other occupational therapists to try and connect them with our customers to try and just help out beyond just the products.
Okay, very good. Tell us how people can order these products from you.
Yeah, so we are listed on Amazon if people prefer to do that with the Amazon Prime shipping. We sell them on our site, harkla.co. But if they want to pre-order a heavier blanket at our low price, they can go to harkla.co/Kickstarter. And that will forward them to our Kickstarter page. And that's just a way to get our blankets at a lower price because they're pre-orders. But we should have them in stock on our site in about 2 months.
And you're willing to give a discount code for our Act Today families and our Let's Talk Autism families?
Yeah, I can provide a discount. We already provide a discount code through Act Today with you that we've talked about. And I can share that one again.
Okay, please do.
In the comments of the video. I can find, I think the discount code was ACT-Today, and if they put it in during checkout, they get 10% off.
Okay. And I also want to mention that you donated some product. You donated swing and weighted blankets to Act Today for some of our grant families, which we're very grateful to you for.
Yeah, we love to give back. So yeah, we'll be continuing to donate products to you because we think Act Today is just a great cause. But on top of that, we work with the University of Washington Autism Center, and we donate 1% of our sales there. And this summer provided $5,000 in scholarships to their summer program called Apex Camp, which if people aren't aware of should check out. It's a very cool camp, and they do some great things there.
Well, thank you, Casey. Thank you for joining us. It's a great company with great products, and we encourage parents to check it out for their own kids. Thank you for joining us today.
All right. Thank you, Nancy.